Hello my friends, my name is Megan Renee and today I have a small grocery prep I need to get done, and then I will be showing you how I make a healthier alternative to a feel-good classic. Nothing new, but I will walk you through it from start to finish. If you are feeling overwhelmed with dinner ideas, I intend for this video to help calm those nerves, because eating healthy should be easy and stress-free. Hi there! So it's Sunday afternoon and we just did a short grocery shopping just to fill in from some of the foods that we've run out of. Mostly it's just produce. So I'm going to share with you what we got that's going to cover us throughout the week. If you didn't see last video, we did a huge grocery haul, and so I still have a lot of foods left over from that. And so what we bought today is just, like I said, fillers of things that we ran out of that we use often. And so I'm going to go over those with you and get started cleaning those up and putting those away. Okay, so we are doing a little hamburger barbecue today with some family. So I went ahead and got hamburger buns, which we don't typically buy, but so we're gonna use that. And then some of the family members do like baked beans and cornbread and some Diet Pepsi. So that's for the barbecue for today. That's not something that we typically buy all the time. And then Walmart must have heard me because they were fully stocked in the yogurt and I was very excited. So I ended up getting 2 of these even though I didn't need to, but I know I'm gonna use them before their expiration date, so I'm not worried about it. But I would rather get 2 now and then, and be okay for a little bit. So got those. And then my son doesn't like the Simple Mills crackers that we get from Costco. And so I thought I'd have him try these. This is another Better Goods brand. That's a brand through Walmart. Try to be their healthier option. And so I think I'm gonna have him try these and see what he thinks. Here we go. That's the nutritional facts right there. And that is the ingredient list. So not great, but not terrible. Better than some of the other crackers that they have there. So, and then I did get these. I'm a sucker for pickles. So, oh, it's sideways, that's why. So these do have things that don't need to be in here, but until I start making my own, which is something that I've thought about, this is kind of what my go-to is. So got some tomatoes, got some more broccoli because we go through that quick, got some more strawberries and asparagus, and then one more little pouch of potatoes, and then bread for my kids. This week we have been keeping it pretty low-key for meals. We stuck with eggs and bacon or sausage for breakfast, and for lunch I think we did 2 days where I made a tomato cucumber salad with some chickpeas and olives, and dinners were just chicken and veggies most nights. And I believe on Thursday we didn't eat dinner. We just weren't that hungry. This is part of changing old habits. We used to eat every meal at a certain time because that's what, you're supposed to do, right? You're supposed to eat breakfast in the morning, lunch at noon, and dinner at 6. Growing up, I could swear by that schedule. I've been working on listening to my body a lot more, and if I'm not hungry, then, I can say that's okay. I don't have to eat right now. There's nothing in my body that says you have to eat at this time. I also begun fasting again. And so when that happens and I skip dinner, that just means a longer fasting time, which is great for my body. So that's why this week's meal prep and grocery shopping is so small. We just really haven't been eating, so we had a ton of food, that lasted us through into this week, and still some that's lasting us, which is fantastic. I think this is the most efficient Costco haul that we've had. So I'm very proud of ourselves for that. I want to take this time and welcome you to my channel, especially if you are new. Thank you for clicking in and watching, and thank you again if you are a returning viewer. My name is Megan Renee, and I like to make content that's health food related and healthy lifestyle related because I am on a journey to change the trajectory of my life. When I started my YouTube channel, I was 225 or 30 pounds. I was on high blood pressure medication, and I was stressed out and tired and low energy all the time. And so I am starting with changing my relationship with food, and that means learning how to approach food in a different way. And so that is what my channel is mostly about. I also like to make organization videos that minimize the stresses in your life. So if that's something that you like, give it a thumbs up and please subscribe. I would be happy to have you. Okay, show of hands in the comments. Is anyone else a little sad that strawberry season's coming to an end? I'm a little sad. We went through a ton of strawberries this summer, I'm not gonna lie. It was in every single grocery cart that I touched this summer. I live in Southern California, so we still get, we get a longer growing season here. So we're still getting some fresh-ish strawberries, but I can tell a difference. I can tell that they are, coming to an end. The last few weeks I've gotten strawberries. They've been a little bit softer. They've been a little bit more tart. And so, I'm just like, oh, they're not as good. Next year, I'm going to try to grow my own strawberries, and so hopefully we could keep it going and they'll taste a lot better. I learned a really cool trick with asparagus that if you cut the ends off and then take a jar or a glass cup and fill it about 2 inches worth of water and then stick your asparagus in there and cover it with a bag, they last a lot longer in the refrigerator. And so I gave it a try and it works. I think my asparagus lasted for like 2 weeks in there. I just cooked it tonight and I prepped this a week and a half ago maybe or so. So it does a good job. All you do is, again, you take a glass jar, you fill it with about 2 inches of water, and then you loosely put a bag or some wrap over it, and they stay fresh. Tonight's easy comfort food is an oldie but a goodie. It is spaghetti squash. Now, this is, again, nothing new, but I wanted to start with this because I just recently learned how to cook a spaghetti squash and without having to look at the instructions. And so I wanted to show you how I do it from start to finish, because when I would look up some videos, most of the time they don't go into detail on what it all takes to cut open a spaghetti squash, and it's no joke. So I first start by setting my oven to 400 degrees right as I start. And then when I get ready to cut my spaghetti squash, there might be better ways to do it, but this is how I do it. I take my long sharp knife and I essentially just perforate it down the middle, and it allows me to cut it a little bit better, and then I just rip it apart. And it works for the most part really well. They don't come out exactly even, but it doesn't matter because you're going to shred it in the end. So the cut doesn't have to be perfect. So if one's a little bit uneven than the other, I've had it to where one side is a whole lot bigger than the other. They still cook just fine. The way that you cook it in the oven, I feel like it's not going to dry out. I haven't had one dry out yet on me, so knock on wood, but I think you're fine. So that's how I do it. So, and then once you get it apart, I take a spoon and then I carve out all the insides just like a pumpkin, and just make it to where it's kind of nice and smooth. I wouldn't stress about getting every single little piece out. If it's in there, it's fine. You can't really taste it, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, just make it as smooth as you can. Don't try to carve out too much though, because you don't want to carve out the actual fruit itself, just the inner pieces where the seeds are. Once you're done carving out your spaghetti squash, it's time to season it. So I start out with about 2 tablespoons of avocado oil, and I paint the entire inside of the squash. And you can use olive oil if you'd like. I just prefer avocado oil. And again, make sure you get, every little crevice, even the flat surfaces. And then I sprinkle salt and just a little bit, I guess depending on your salt intake, but a little bit of salt. And then I use heavy pepper because we are heavy pepper eaters. And some Italian seasoning. And then I also like to add garlic to it as well. And I'll just blend it in with my paintbrush. And once you get that all kind of spread out, you're going to flip it over so that the open side or fruit side is flat down. And then this is a big pan, so I used about 1 cup of water, and I add it to my pan, and then I cook it in the oven at 400 degrees.
Alexa, set a timer for 40 minutes.
40 minutes, starting now.
I'm moving on over to start my meat. This is ground beef, and I get it from our local butcher. It is 1.5 pounds. It's because I have 5 members of my family, so 1.5 pounds works best for us. I start by smashing it, and then I add salt, pepper, some garlic seasoning, and some red pepper flakes to my mix, and then I let it brown. A trick I learned is if you want to get rid of some of the grease but you don't want to completely drain your meat out, you can use a paper towel and just kind of swish it around in there, and that soaks up a lot of the grease. Once your meat is nice and browned, you can go ahead and add your marinara sauce, whichever you prefer. I like the Costco brand. It's very comparable to Rayo's, just cheaper, and it tastes, I don't know, it tastes the same to me. So, and at this point, my 40-minute timer went off, and so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open up the oven and I'm just going to flip the spaghetti squash over and let them cook on their skin side for about 10 minutes. I also decided to cook some asparagus with this because I thought it would be a great additive, and so I'm gonna go ahead and kind of mix those up too. I cook those at the same temperature, just a shorter time as the spaghetti squash. Some people say that it's best to let it cool a little bit before you shred it. I like to shred it right away, mainly because I'm impatient and I just want to get dinner done, but to me it really makes no difference. I haven't felt a difference in texture. So to shred your spaghetti squash, what you're going to want to do is you're going to have some tongs or wear a glove because they'll be hot, and then have a fork, and you're just going to kind of brush your fork from top to bottom. Just see how I'm doing. You can also push your fork from the bottom to the top, and that helps create those long noodle-like strands. Now, there's two ways that you can serve this. If it's just the two of you, you can just use the spaghetti squash skin as the bowl and pour your marinara mixture inside of it, or you can plate it up and bowl it if you're sharing it among others. This is also a really good alternative to any pastas that gets added to a casserole dish as well. Well, friends, that is dinner for us tonight. It was so warm and so delicious. Really, I'm not missing anything by substituting. It was so good. Chef's kiss, trust me. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and feel free to check out this video. I think you might like it. Have a wonderful day.